start-finish line at the Daytona International Speedway, a very special place this past weekend for the Jarrett family. Dale Jarrett capturing the Daytona 500 by STP. And if I can get this smile off my face, we'll try to do this show. We'll have highlights of that race and much more in this half hour of Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Without a doubt, one of the most exciting Daytona 500s in history. There was some great racing, a spectacular crash involving Rusty Wallace, and a fantastic finish, which saw Dale Jarrett pass Dale Earnhardt in the closing laps and go on to pick up the win in the Super Bowl of stock car racing. We'll have all the action from Daytona coming up.
They are the fresh faces of the future in Winston Cup racing. We'll speak with rookies Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Wallace as they take the biggest step in their racing career, competing in the Winston Cup Series.
We'll also talk with the 1992 Indy 500 winner, Al Unser Jr. With a ride provided by Rick Hendrick, Unser became the third member of his family to take the green flag at Daytona. We'll get his thoughts on the differences and similarities between stock car and Indy car racing. That and more coming up.
Inside Winston Cup Racing is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just eat up the engines.
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win. I'd try to remember that, AJ. Do that.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow! I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
What drives Darrell Waltrip?
I like to compete against the other guys. Your skills against the other guy's skills. Out-drive, out-think, out-smart, whatever. It's a real chess game for me. And I get a big thrill out of that. I love racing. I can't think of a better way to make a living. I never want to do anything else.
Darrell Waltrip and TNN Motorsports. When it comes to live NASCAR racing, no one plays as hard.
Power plays on TNN Motorsports.
The NASCAR Winston Cup teams moved into the Daytona International Speedway on Wednesday, February 3rd to start through inspection, and it didn't take the action long to get started. For that action, the news, and the highlights of the Daytona 500 by STP, here's Randy.
Thanks, Ned. Well, folks, as you can see, the fans were here at Daytona, all pumped up for the very first race of the 1993 season. Well, the teams were pumped up as well after months and months of practicing and testing, building new race cars. They get here, and they go into practice with all kinds of effort, all pumped up, and the drivers were pumped up as well. Sometimes that causes a little friction on the racetrack during practice, and it did on Wednesday. That's when there was a 7-car pileup between turns 1 and 2. It involved Jimmy Spencer, Darrell Waltrip, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Jim Sauter, Jimmy Means, and Kenny Reagan. Kenny Reagan did not make the Daytona 500. Jimmy Means had to go to a backup driver in Jimmy Hensley, the 1992 Winston Cup Rookie of the Year. The other drivers had to go to backup cars for the 500. The twin 125s on Thursday, some great racing. Dale Earnhardt continued his hot streak here at Daytona. He picked up a win. Also, rookie sensation Jeff Gordon picked up his win. One other note on the twin 125 qualifying races, Al Unser Jr., he crashed his car, had to go to a backup car, but that wasn't so bad. because his backup car, that belonged to Kenny Schrader, who raced it to a second-place finish in the Busch Clash. Now for some more news on the Busch Grand National teams that were here in action at Daytona, let's go to Bill.
Randy, the 1993 Busch Series kicked off with a 300-mile race for the Grand National division here at Daytona. Now, because of a rights embargo by the televising network, we're not permitted to show you highlights of the event. There were several Winston Cup stars in that race, and Dale Earnhardt took the checkered flag for his third win of the week, following his victory in the Busch Clash and his 125-mile qualifying race. Now, two other big stories here at Daytona. First of all, Hoosier Tires was forced to withdraw their racing tire the night before the Busch race here at Daytona. That put all 44 starters on Goodyear tires. Now, that handicapped 9 drivers that had qualified on Hoosiers had to change to Goodyear tires for the race and thus started the back of the field. The Hoosier drivers told me that tires simply would not adhere. NASCAR made a safety decision, and Hoosier tires were withdrawn. All 44 starters went with Goodyear. Now, the other big story here, Todd Bodine announced his sponsorship for 1993. Fiddle Faddle will be the sponsor of his car throughout the season. And the next stop for the Busch Series will be Rockingham, North Carolina.
Today's Winston Cup highlights are brought to you by Texaco Haviland. Add more life to your car.
The 35th annual Daytona 500 got the drop of the green flag when the King waved the field underway. And Richard's son Kyle showed the way in his mellow yellow Pontiac. Despite a couple of early race cautions, including this one for Jimmy Hensley in turns 1 and 2, it became evident early on that the 500 would go down in history as one of the most competitive ever. It was Dale Earnhardt in his familiar black and white GM Goodwrench Chevy that showed the way for much of the early race. Dale did battle with Petty, then Ken Schrader and Ernie Irvan, but he held the field in check, leading 50 of the first 100 laps. It was around the halfway mark that the action really started to heat up, but Bill Elliott, looking for his third 500 win, was not part of it, as he parked his Budweiser Ford with engine problems on lap 99 of the 200. On lap 128, Wally Dallenbach brushed the wall coming off of turn 4 to bring out the third of 7 cautions on the afternoon. The wreck collected Sterling Marlin, who was bumped by Michael Waltrip. Marlin went for a short flight but continued to finish ninth. On lap 156, Al Unser Jr. got together with Dale Earnhardt, then Bobby Hillin. Both went through the infield, with Hillin ending up back on the track and in the path of Petty after Petty had a pit stop that put him back in the pack. In the heat of the moment, Petty had words with Hillin before both headed off to the garage area. The biggest wreck of the day came on lap 169 when Derek Cope clipped Michael Waltrip, who in turn touched Rusty Wallace. Wallace went for a ride and then another short flight before finally coming to rest in the backstretch grass. Rusty suffered only minor cuts and bruises. Earnhardt emerged out front for the final time on lap 179 and appeared on his way to his first ever 500 win. That is until Dale Jarrett, who sat back in the pack most of the day, drove underneath as they headed for the white flag. Jarrett got a shove from Jeff Bodine from behind and grabbed the lead and held on to the checkered flag. It was Jarrett's second career win, this one worth $238,000.
They were a little bit slower off of that corner. Dale was a little bit loose off of there, and so I could get my momentum up and got a good draft there. And then Dale's car got loose getting into 3, I think, and I was able to get underneath him. And Bodine kind of pushed me through there. Gave me a little shove that I needed to, because I think Gordon went with Earnhardt and didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew we were going to have a heck of a finish.
Today's Mailbox is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft.
Our question today is from Paul Nelson from Florence, Kentucky, who writes, is there a set standard for hand signals to drivers behind you, or do you just hope that they understand what you're trying to convey? Well, Paul, for that answer, we'll go to Lake Speed, who drives his own Purex Ford.
Paul, I'll tell you, I appreciate the question. There's not really a set rule of thumb, I think. Really more, what will really determine that is the circumstances you're under. Most of the time, each driver can kind of read the other one's mind a little bit. And if you start motioning one way or the other, if your motion has got to come with you, you know, he knows that you're going to pull out and you want to pass like today in a draft or something. Or if you're waving your hand and he sees the other car in front of you is slowing up or something, he knows that you're going to slow down, and he knows that you're just letting him know that. It's most of the time the situation dictates what it is, and all you're really doing is confirming, hey, look, I'm paying attention, you pay attention. Make sure that you don't run into the back end of me, or if, in the other case, like I said, if you're pulling out to draft somebody, you want somebody to go with you.
If you have any race questions, write to us at Inside Winston Cup Racing, Box 240-417, Charlotte 28224. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive this embroidered Miller Genuine Draft jacket. You'll also receive a copy of NASCAR videos, A Week in the Life of a Race Team, the latest volume in the exciting series, bringing the NASCAR lifestyle roaring into your living room.
We need to take a short break. Still to come on this edition of Inside Winston Cup Racing, we'll take a look at one of the best rookie crops to come into NASCAR Winston Cup Racing in a long, long time. We'll also talk to the 1992 Indianapolis 500 winner, Unser Jr. You stay with us, and as we leave you for this break, here's the balance of the finishing order for the Daytona 500.
Your first big snow, Joey. Here he comes.
Joey doesn't care that inside is the world's most energy-efficient furnace.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or that Carrier can save up to 40% annually on heating.
Look at him. He loves it.
All he cares about is how warm and comfy Carrier keeps it inside.
Hey, come on. Joe?
If you care about energy efficiency and saving money, call your Carrier dealer.
Turn the knob, Joey.
Carrier, we're the inside guys.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just eat up the engines.
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win. I'd try to remember that, AJ. Do that.
Unbelievable, spectacular, breathtaking, crash impact. 60 minutes of blazing crash action in this special edition 2-volume set. See outrageous motocross and road racing action, sensational Indy cars, Grand Prix, NASCAR, monster trucks, powerboats, and more. Only $19.95. This exclusive 2-tape set is jam-packed with magnificent racing and crash action footage featuring top drivers from around the world. Order now and get absolutely free. Havoc 1, over 45 minutes of rare footage, including some of the most thrilling and horrifying moments that made early racing history. And you'll get this incredible 2-tape offer, plus your Havoc video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call toll-free 1-800-228-2229. That's 1-800-228-2229. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3.95 for shipping and handling.
Coming up next Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern, Race Day continues its road show as we travel to Miami for IMSA's Toyota Grand Prix. We'll have all the latest news from the track, and we'll tell you who the top contenders are. Plus, we'll have highlights from other action around the country. That's live from Miami, so join us.
Race Day, 2 different editions, 11:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern, TNN Motorsports Sundays.
There have been some great rookies in NASCAR Winston Cup racing in past years, but as we go into the 1993 season, the Max Race Cars Rookie of the Year contention is going to be one of the best that we've seen in a long, long time. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Wallace are all true rookies, young drivers with great equipment. We had an opportunity to talk to each of them just before the Daytona 500.
They are the faces of the future in Winston Cup racing. They make no promises, but the tight racing fraternity knows they bring with them plenty of promise. During Speed Weeks, they were the darlings of Daytona, photographed, quizzed, and quoted. In addition to valuable time preparing their cars, They spent 11 days racing through a media maze, reenacting the past and predicting the future. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Wallace are the three contenders for the 1993 Max Race Cards Rookie of the Year Award. All three make the jump after successful stints in the Grand National Division and now face the challenging adjustment of excelling in NASCAR's fastest lane and brightest light.
I have to learn to carry the cars, you know, what I can do and never give up. But I think that the guys who got the best chassis week in and week out are going to win. So that's what we're going to really work on, a lot of testing and getting the chassis really set up right, knowing what I'm feeling in these big, heavy cars.
Not to mention the competition, the shorter tracks, the longer races. I think the shorter tracks with these heavier cars, they just don't stop as well, they don't turn as well. So, you know, there's a lot going on. You got to stay focused on the race car, setup of the race car. The race car changes more than a Busch Grand National car. So if I can, you know, that's, you know, besides learning everything, but staying focused is the big thing.
Like freshmen finding their way at the start of their first semester, all three drivers are turning to some upperclassmen for the gift of guidance. Who are they asking for such valuable advice?
Is everybody out of the question? No, it's, you know, fortunately I've got Terry to go to. All the four drivers have been helpful.
I guess there's really only one person that I really talk to, and everybody knows who that is. It's really Rusty, you know.
Well, obviously the first place I'm going to go is Kenny Schrader and Ricky Rudd. You know, I feel that I can go to them and ask them just about anything, and especially if we go and test, they can drive my car or I can drive their car, and that's real helpful.
Now, in addition to their racing responsibilities, these rookies also face the intense attention of the Winston Cup press corps. Just like the cars, bigger, faster, and harder to handle.
I know how important it is. And it's very important to me, and it's very important to the sponsors. And that's one of the things I've had to learn. I've had to actually work at it. I mean, you know, the racetrack, that seems to come to me. I feel like I can get in a race car and I can drive the wheels off that thing, but off the racetrack, working with sponsors and TV and things like that, I've had to work at that.
So they are the class of '93, humble, hopeful, and happy. To know them is to like them.
I would say I'm a young open-wheel dirt racer that got lucky. I guess I would just say, hi, I'm Bob Labonte, driver of the Maxwell House Ford, and we're running for Rookie of the Year this year, and I'm a raw rookie, and just keep eye on me because I'll have a yellow stripe on my back bumper.
First of all, if you're my fan, don't root for him, no. No, I like those guys, I really do. Everybody knows about Kenny. He's a great guy, and I don't think there's anybody that doesn't get along with Kenny or anybody he doesn't get along with. Kenny's a lot of fun to be around. Plus, he's a competitor. He wants to win. He's an awful tough competitor. You know, in '91, I beat him just by a little bit for the Busch Grand National Championship. He led a lot of it in '92. Jeff and Bobby are articulate, very competitive race car drivers. And one thing we all three got in common, we don't like to do bad. You know, I think the same goes for Bobby Labonte. Bobby, he's not as open as Kenny is, and he's to himself a lot, but you know that when you get out there on the racetrack, he's going to be one of the guys to beat. He's very intense and very focused on racing, but I'm looking forward to it because I've you know, raced with them in Busch Grand National. I've got to be friends with them, and you know, it's just, I think it's going to be a lot of fun that we all know each other. We're all going to be able to have fun this year being rookies, but at the same time, we're going to be hard at it against each other.
Well, certainly with his win in the 125-mile qualifying race and a solid fifth-place finish in the Daytona 500, Jeff Gordon took a big step as winning the round one of the rookie competition for this year. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk with Unser Jr., winner of the 1992 Indianapolis 500.
You know, it's very competitive. You don't know if they're telling you the truth or if they're lying to you, and that sort of thing. You know, really everything's been real close to the same between the two series.
Genuine Draft. The world's a very cool place.
Remember those old dirt tracks, AJ? The dirt would just eat up the engines.
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
My favorite win was going to be in '69. I had to give it to you. You shouldn't have even made a half a lap.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Heck, I still feel if I can't win, I don't want nobody to win. I'd try to remember that, AJ. Do that.
Imagine this is a sidewall of a tire. The whole idea is to keep the tread area in level contact with the road, or you'll lose traction, especially in cornering. Now, Goodyear has learned a lot in Turn 1 at Indy and applied that knowledge to Eagle street radials. In cornering, there's a lot of force trying to lift the tire, but Goodyear Eagle's racing-inspired sidewall design works to hold the tire firmly to the road. Eagle radials, only from Goodyear. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Next Sunday, live on TNN Motorsports. For the third year in a row, TNN Motorsports kicks off its live Winston Cup season at The Rock. All the big guns will be back, and the racing's going to be hotter and faster than ever before. Don't miss this exciting NASCAR event when TNN Motorsports slips behind the wheel for year number 3. Live from Rockingham, Winston Cup Goodwrench 500, next Sunday, noon Eastern, live, only on TNN Motorsports. You're enjoying TNN, the heart of country, and your #1 source for country music, entertainment, and information. If you'd like to know more about our programs or guest lineups, call TNN Viewer Services 615-883-7000. For tickets, call Opryland Customer Service 615-889-6611.
The off weekend finds the Winston Cup teams between the rock and a hard place. Following the Daytona 500, it's testing time at Rockingham as the series gets set for the second stop of the season. We'll have the test results.
And we'll have a conversation with Bobby Hillin. He had bad luck in the Daytona 500, but he's looking forward to his first full season in several years on the Winston Cup circuit. We'll get his thoughts.
Don't mistake Steve Grissom's quiet nature as a casual approach to racing. This Busch Grand National veteran is focused on winning and plans to make plenty of noise in 1993 as he hopes to return to the winning form that carried him to victory lane 4 times in 1990.
Every once in a while, a race driver comes along that just seems to be able to compete in any form of motorsports. Al Unser Jr. certainly fits in that category. He has already been a big winner in several phases of auto racing, and of course the Indianapolis 500 last year being his biggest win of all time, but he has won in the IROC Series, and he also entered this year's Daytona 500 by STP and was making a very good run for it until he got tangled up and was put out of the race. We had an opportunity to talk to him while we were here.
Al Unser Jr. is unquestionably one of the very best race car drivers in the entire world. An IndyCar champion with a resume of wins, which includes the 1992 Indy 500. But during speed weeks at Daytona, Little Al traded in his Indy car for a stock car and a ride in the Daytona 500, courtesy of car owner Rick Hendrick and his sponsor, Valvoline.
Valvoline is the one that they put a deal together with Hendrick Motorsports, and Valvoline is going to be going in most of Rick's dealerships across the country. They are a sponsor of all 4 teams, and I'm the 4th man on the team, and so really his sponsorship is only with 3 cars, really, but it's a secondary sponsorship on Rudd's and Schrader's and Jeff Gordon's cars, and they were just in discussions about putting that deal together, and they said, well, how about running Al Jr.? And he said, great, he'd love to. And so it started a little bit late. It only started in December, and so the car was really rushed and all that.
What about communication in there? Do you communicate differently with Waddell and the guys in there than you do? Is it the terminology obviously is all different? What about, you know, loose, push, all that stuff? Is it different for you?
It's sort of. Loose, push, all that's the same. They use different words like wedge and bite, and the weight percentage of the car. You know, they can move that around a lot more than our Indy car, and really our IndyCar doesn't weigh enough really to move enough weight around to affect it. But basically, the terminology of everything is the same.
You feel like you're well received with a lot of these guys like Earnhardt and Rusty. You know all these guys.
Oh yeah, we've been. This is my 8th year in IROC now, and we got to know everybody fairly well. You know, with the different guys that have been in IROC over the years. They've accepted me real well. You know, NASCAR is my first time with them, and they've been very, very helpful. You know, it's something that it's been very nice to come down here and be received the way I have.
Well, one thing I was wondering about, what about the speed? Do you feel like you're going slow at 190 in these cars?
No, 190 mile an hour is fast. Yeah. No, they handle a little bit different. You know, the draft's very, very critical, and it's less critical in Indy cars. You still draft off of other people when you're running 200 in the Champ car, but it's not near as critical as it is down here.
The safety of this sport, comparatively speaking, and the longevity that these guys, some of these guys can drive till they're 45, 50. I don't think you can do that in IndyCar racing. So maybe in a long period, maybe 10 years from now, switching over a little bit?
Maybe so, yeah. You know, you never know. I've enjoyed my visit down here, you know, and it's been wonderful, and you know, we'll just have to see, really.
Hey, thanks, Ben. Appreciate your time. Wow.
You bet. Thank you.
And I'll bet we'll see Al Unser Jr. back again in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Well, our time's up for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and we'll be right back here next week on TNN for more on Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Inside Winston Cup Racing has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Ground transportation for the Inside Winston Cup Racing crew provided by Mark III Luxury Vans and Trucks, the official vans and trucks of NASCAR. Clothing for the Inside Winston Cup Racing crew provided by Simpson Race Products, where innovation never stops.